And away we go. It is the aftermath from the road. Right here on BearcatJournal.com. Brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Next time you're near downtown, you don't have to be scared of going across the moat. It's not that bad. You just go to where the levee is. You go away from the levee. You go into Dayton, Kentucky. Galactic Fried Chicken is right there. Our guy Shane will get you taken care of. They have the best chicken tenders in town, the best fried chicken, you name it, and it is delicious. And always, always, always get you some Galactic sauce. All right, Aaron. I'm getting ready to hit the road from Ann Arbor. We're driving past the big house as the Bearcats get a 100-98 victory over a very, very good Michigan team with, for my money, what's going to end up being the best player in the country this season. He looked like it in the second half. Jizzle Lindenborg is awesome, and the Bearcats were still able to fight out a win. They got up big, up 18 at halftime. Lindenborg was a monster in the second half, scored 27 of his 32 points after the break. But I think there's a lot of positive to take away from that, Aaron. I think there would have been a lot of positive win or lose. You got to watch it as well, so I will turn it over to you like we always do, and we'll get your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought the probably the most encouraging thing about this entire game is it didn't seem like whatever. I mean, it was sloppy. Don't get me wrong, but it seemed like whatever they did offensively, it never looked stagnant. Even when they were in ISO, it didn't look like they didn't quite know what they were doing or didn't have a plan in place. I didn't even hate the ISO, and it seemed an awful lot of Shauna Bayev in ISO, if I'm being completely honest.
That's who he is as an offensive player, man. Like,
sure.
For now, that's what he does.
And I didn't even hate that, but I mean, I think that probably is a key example of what Wes was talking about when he talked about this team isn't quite yet ready to play basketball. Because the ball really didn't pop the way that we probably want it to. But again, I didn't ever feel like the offense was stagnant. And you see 6 different players in double digits. I think that kind of tells that story.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, that they look like a team that's still a couple weeks from the season. But I agree. I thought, the ball movement was solid. It wasn't, the highest level we're going to see this season. But, I talked about this with you before we went on the air a little bit ago. I think the thing that was really promising for me that we did not see last season is this team had the ability to have multiple guys find their rhythm throughout the night, multiple times throughout the game. For a little bit, like the beginning of the game, first, I don't know what, probably 12, 15 minutes of the game, Baba Miller was the best player on the floor. And then for a little while, Shauna Bayev took over. And then Day Thomas had a really good stretch. And Mustafa Cham had a really good stretch. And there was a feeling after the game, Aaron, a couple of people I was talking to, they were like, look, man, Cham did not play well. Like, well, he had, what, 15 and 5?
He had 15 and 4. Well, no, I think that 15 and 2.
Okay. He's got to get on the glass more. But if he's going to score 15 and we're all going to go, I don't think he played that well, yeah, I will take it. Like, that was the thing for me is, they just didn't have a lot of answers last year. And yes, it's early and, Michigan wasn't where they're going to be defensively later in the year. But you go play a team with that much talent, a lot of experience at guard for Michigan, and Cincinnati took a lot of punches in that second half, man. Like, they could have easily, and last year's team easily would have given up that lead and lost that game. And tonight, those guys fought, and they made big shots. Day had a big 3. Kerr had a big 3. Who
was it who ended up diving for that ball late in the game as it was going out of bounds on Michigan's side?
that
and
was
ended up
the
being called out
opposite
of bounds.
side of where I was. I think it was Buck, but I don't quote me on that.
I guess that's a kind of an example of what you're talking about, where this was a team that did not give up even till the end of the game. They just continued to show that fight that you want to see, the stuff that we quite honestly didn't see nearly enough last season.
No,
in the chat, everyone's saying Buck.
Yeah, I thought it was Buck, but it was all the way at the other end, so I didn't have a great view of it. Look, man, Buck is a dude that UC fans are going to love because he is an animal. Like, he just plays balls to the wall every second he's on the floor.
I didn't love 60 fouls being called in this game. I thought that took away from the actual game. Obviously, again, it wasn't that they were bad calls. I was going to say, it wasn't that they were bad calls. It was just, it's an exhibition. You know, these kids are going to be playing a little sloppier than they're going to be once you clean it up. I just thought it took away from the game. You could have let them be a little more physical, I guess.
Here's what I'll say on that, Aaron. I don't mind it in this setting because they need to know that shit is a foul. Like, you were fouling. Stop fouling, right? Like, you've got to, and a lot of it was guys playing with their hands, and a lot of bumps, a lot of pushes, a lot of Elliot Cadeau coming off a high ball screen and then just crashing into whoever the defender was in front of him, drawing a foul and getting to the free throw line. You have got to learn your feet are active. You defend with your feet, not your hands. And they spent too much time tonight defending with their hands. So I know it's not aesthetically pleasing, but I would rather have that on tape where they have to go back and watch that. Foul, foul, foul. Here's why you fouled. Here's why you fouled. Like, I think ultimately this is a learning process today and next Friday. I don't mind that they had to learn you defend with your feet, not with your hands. It almost lost them the game.
60 fouls is absurd. 33 for Cincinnati alone. Crazy.
They went. Michigan shot 48 free throws. What were they? 41 for 48? Is that what it was? 40 for 48?
They were that. Correct.
So, yeah, like 40 of their 98 points came at the free throw line. You almost lost that game because you refused to stop fouling. Get better and don't foul. You know what's wild? 60 fouls, only one guy fouled out.
I agree. Well, no. Elliot Cadeau also fouled out.
Okay, that was late.
Yeah.
I don't count that. They were fouling to, like, stay in the game. But for 39 minutes, there were all those fouls and only one guy fouled out. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, you had 5 guys with 4 fouls. You had a technical in there for Cheddar. Yeah, all sorts of things in this game.
You had a technical for Abayev.
I must have missed that.
You didn't see his poster dunk?
I did see that. I didn't know he actually got a technical. I saw.
Oh yeah, he got in the guy's face afterwards. It was It was absolutely a technical.
I even said when I was watching it, I'm surprised he's got to watch that. He's going to end up getting technical. I didn't know he actually did get teed up. I was watching on my phone. We were watching kids. I did my best to try and keep up with the game.
Yeah.
But 7 kids running around gets a little crazy.
How's it look in D'Artagnan Tinsley mode?
I mean, you look like you got a shadow. I would not drive like that. That seems like the worst way to drive.
I just was testing. I didn't know. No. I think we're gonna go in the dark. People can deal with it.
It's an exhibition. We're all doing the best we can. It's fine.
Any other specific thoughts jump out?
I mean, when you look at 55% from the field, 33 of 60 all day, that's a monumental number for a team to start out at. Obviously, that's not going to be something you see carry over, but against a team that is highly regarded across the collegiate world. Granted, they were missing a couple starters, as John Rothstein made sure to point out without highlighting any of the players that Cincinnati was missing, because John Rothstein. That's impressive regardless. 55%. I don't expect him to shoot anywhere near that high on a regular basis, but to start off, I'll take it. 38.7% from three on a 12 for 31 clip. It's a ton of threes. I can live with that if you're shooting 38.7%. But in true Bearcat fashion, 22 of 35 from the line, good enough for 62.9%. And that shows that these guys are ready to be Bearcats to me.
I'll hand up on that one, Aaron. At 3 for 3 from the line, I was like, maybe this team's going to be good at shooting free throws. It did not go well from there.
33 rebounds for Michigan, 29 for Cincinnati in this one. And Michigan was missing their two true centers. Again, when you talk about Mustafa Cham only having two, you've got to figure out how to crash those boards a little bit better. And I'm sure they're going to be working on some of that. 9 offensive rebounds, though, in this one. And early in the game, it seemed like they were cleaning, especially Baba Miller, cleaning up a ton of offensive rebounds. So I was very pleased with all of that. I thought both freshmen, Shauna Bayev and
all 3 freshmen. There was 3 freshmen in the game, Aaron.
I was
3.
Going to get to Jordy.
No, what 4? There were 4 freshmen in the game.
It's hard to call Jordy a freshman considering he's already played professional. But
Tyler McKinley's a freshman.
Fair enough. He's a redshirt freshman.
But he's a freshman.
True freshman. I was impressed with what they did. And Tyler McKinley, again, happy with his contributions in this game. He gave a little bit more than I anticipated, probably in his first game as a Bearcat, albeit an exhibition. But first time that we've seen him in action. And then I think I'll tell you what, I know we do the breakdown of everybody individually, but Calvin Zella has made monumental strides in his development and looks like a guy who I'd almost written him off as a guy who's going to give any real contribution to this team. And I feel terrible for even thinking that way because he looks like a guy who's actually going to be able to contribute. Look, some of the stuff that we've seen from some of the backup center play over the course of the last couple of seasons, I think it's going to be significantly better than what we've seen at times, even in the 2 spot, the second spot for that center spot.
If that's what you've got coming off, like your last big man off the bench, I feel pretty good. And remember, that a lot of that also, like Jalen Celestine it should be ready for Arkansas, and he's going to play a lot of 4. So you're adding another body into that mix where, if Halveen needs to give you 3-4 minutes a half, I'm perfectly fine with that. He defended well. I did a couple times, and you wouldn't think this with Jordy out there, with Keyshawn out there. A couple times that second unit defensively looked great. Great. Like there was a couple possessions, especially when they first checked into the game early, where as a unit, they defended at a really high level as a group. I know in the second half, they had the one where they forced Michigan to call it timeout because of ball pressure with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. And then they came back from the timeout and Michigan threw it out of bounds as the shot clock was expiring. Once you get your first team up to speed defensively, if your second unit can come in and defend like they did at times tonight against, let's face it, Michigan's a really, really good offensive team. Like that's a good sign for things going forward.
Yeah, I also like that they hit, triple digits in this one. Again, it is an exhibition, but you're shooting well enough to hit triple digits and you're doing something well. So I'll take it. I don't know how well Michigan's defense played in this one. I thought at times,
especially the first half.
Yeah, especially the first half. But at times they looked pretty good. They clamped down more so in the second half. The one play that probably bothered me the most in the entire game was you got a guy at the other end of the floor who's missing a shoe and trying to get it back on. So you're running 5-on-4, and Shauna Bayev pulls a Dan and just dribbles it right out of bounds. And that was frustrating because it was something that you could have capitalized on and tried to build that lead out as you were was diminishing at that point. But that was again just a freshman being a freshman, and some things that you're going to have to work through and figure it out.
Let's go through. Let's get to guy by guy.
All right, we'll do it the way that we always do and go with the points leaders. Shauna Bayev, let's start right there at the top. He had 15. He goes 4 of 8 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Doesn't realize he's a Bearcat yet, apparently. 2 rebounds, 1 offensive, 3 fouls, including the technical. There's that T right there. 2 turnovers, a steal, 25 minutes played, which was good enough for second on the team, and 7 in the plus minus on this one.
Were you surprised he started?
I was a little surprised he started. I don't know that if this was a week ago, if he would have been in the starting lineup. That said, I was thoroughly impressed. He looks comfortable already.
He looked physically better than I thought he would in terms of. Now, I don't, that once you get to the regular season and once you get in the Big 12, it's going to be a lot more physical than it was tonight. But, and honestly, Aaron, that stretch at the end of the first half where they pulled away for that halftime lead, it was in large part because of Shauna Bayev's offense. And you need that. Like, this team is going to need a guy like that at times can say, I got this. Here's 8 points in a 4-minute stretch.
Well, I think it was on the BBP either this past week or the week before, where it was mentioned that we didn't really have a guy that was built like a Jaron Cumberland, built like an SK. And what he showed me tonight is that he is capable of being that guy. Now, I'm not saying that he's necessarily going to be able to be that guy night in, night out, but the fact that he has that in his arsenal is something that I feel like you can at times lean into. And truthfully, I thought that what he showed us tonight was nothing short of exciting.
Here's something that's important to remember about that statement too, Aaron. Those guys didn't look like that when they were freshmen. Like when we think of veteran Jaron, veteran Sean, we forget that they at one point they were freshmen too. And they took a little time to really get in the groove and find themselves. So I really, really thought Sean showed very well on a big stage in night one. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be nights he doesn't play well. But to go out there and do that, and especially at that end of the first half, that last 8 minutes of the first half where they pulled away, that's a promising sign for this offense going forward.
Let's move on to Kirk Risa, who also had 15. We had 3 guys with 15. He goes 4 of 9 from the field, all threes, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Also doesn't yet quite realize he's Bearcat. No rebounds in this one, no assists, 4 fouls, 1 turnover, 24 minutes played, 0 on the plus minus. That all said, man, he looked like a spark plug and exactly what this team needed. The sidestep 3 was a little reminiscent of
Landers Nolly.
Yes, thank you. That was yes. I love the sidestep 3. He's fearless out there, and we knew that about him coming in. He's not unfamiliar to this fan base, but it was really cool to see him in the red and black tonight doing exactly what we knew who he was.
If you give him space from 3, he's going to make it. Like, more often than not, if you give him room to breathe and he can get one off with a clean look, he's going to be a high-level shooter. What he didn't, he had the one turnover, which I think that's, for me, only 1 turnover. He had the ball in his hands a lot tonight. Day did not play much point guard. When Kerr Creasa was on the floor with Day, Kerr was the point guard. He didn't have a bunch of silly turnovers, which he is want to do from time to time. And when he got open looks, they were pure. I was really, really pleased with what Kerr did tonight.
He just had a poise about him out there. You can kind of tell that he's been doing this for a while, right?
Yeah.
He looked confident. He looked smooth. The shot looked good.
It's uploading now, but if you get a chance when you're done watching this, go watch Kerr after the game. I talked to him for a couple minutes post game. He got emotional and almost like came to tears because he had been out of basketball for a year with the injury. I guess I did not know this. I guess over the past year, his grandpa had passed away, and his grandpa was one of his biggest supporters. And he got emotional about being back out there tonight. Did you see him on the jump ball that McKinley forced at the end?
What did I need to be seeing exactly?
He was on the outside of like the pile, and he fucking did an official running up to a pile in the NFL and signaling possession, like pointing like this towards Cincinnati. I was cracking up, dude. He's good. Like he's one of those dudes Cincinnati has not had a lot of, where you hate him if he's on the other team, but boy, do you love him when he's on yours.
It was just the way that even when he was running back to defense after an offensive possession, whether it went well, whether it didn't, he's a guy who draws your eye, and just the way that he's celebrating or the way that he's getting into his defensive stance or whatever the case is, he's just animated and he's like a cartoon out there, right? Like everything he does is animated. It draws the eye just naturally. You didn't have any issue finding when he was on the floor, and I don't hate any of that. Moving on, Mustafa Cham with 15. He becomes your third Bearcat there with 15. 6 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. We did see him shoot some threes in this one. 2 for 2 from the line. Again, doesn't quite yet realize what he's doing here, but only 2 defensive rebounds, 3 personal fouls, 3 turnovers, 26 minutes played to lead all Bearcats, and +2.
He banked in a 3. Like it was straight on. He banked it in hard. It still counts. But we did see some touch around the rim that Wes has been talking about from him. He had a nice kind of up and under right hand little baby hook that he hit. He did not have
no arc to it. It had no arc to it, the hook that he hit.
Well, when you're 7'2" with a 7'6" wingspan, you don't need a lot of arc, Aaron. You're kind of shooting down on the basket.
It just banged the back of the rim. I was surprised it went in, if I'm being honest. Like I was happy it went in, but it wasn't pretty, I guess.
No, but he didn't have a great game. Pretty. He didn't have a great game. He finished with 15. We should all be in a position where we have a bad day, and at the end of that bad day, your performance still looks pretty damn good.
You're still a leader.
Yeah.
I'm obviously happy he's on our team. I think the one shot that Michigan made off the top of the backboard, essentially, like it hit. I don't know. It couldn't hit any higher on the glass.
Way up over him to avoid the block shot. Yeah.
That's going to be something that I think we see all season long, and I think that him altering that kind of an approach at the rim is going to be something that, especially against teams that don't have the caliber of offensive player that Michigan has, it's going to send some teams into tailspins. They're really not going to know what to do when you got, especially the two tall guys down there, Baba and Mustafa, both lurking, even McKinley down there, because McKinley looked good defensively as well. If he's serving any time in that 4 spot, it's a lot of tall dudes down there when you're looking at any 2 of those 3 guys lurking, waiting just to swat your stuff into the 6th row.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. We got Sincere Harris, actually, your 4th leading scorer, believe it or not. 13 points, 4 of 9. Clearly been working with the shot doctor. 0 for 2 from 3.
His threes look bad.
Not his best shot, but 5 of 8 from the free throw line. There it is. Bearcat. 1 offensive rebound, 4 defensive rebounds, giving him 5 on the night. 4 assists, 2 fouls, 3 turnovers, 5 steals, easily leading all Bearcats. 22 minutes played, -3 on the plus minus.
He is an absolute menace defensively. Just a menace defensively. And I thought offensively, Aaron, he had 2 of the most important plays in the game back to back. He drives hard right, gets fouled and finishes. I think they had cut it to 3, maybe. Either 3 or did they cut it to 1 at one point? Whatever.
Let me see what I find.
Michigan got it close, and he hits a driving baseline layup, gets fouled, makes the free throw, and then on the next possession, cuts right along the back of the baseline. I can't remember who it was. Hit him with a really good pass, and he finished on the other side of the rim. And those were 2 plays I was really, really impressed with from him.
It had gotten to 2, 88-86 when he hits that first.
I know it's
layup.
close.
Yeah.
Those 5 points were huge because I think it pushed it back to 7.
Ended up, something like that. Ended up after the Kerr Creasa. Well, Day Thomas hits a 3, and that pushes it out to 6 after those 2 layups. Because in between that, you also had the Lindenborg layup and a
foul
free throw from Gale Jr. But
I thought those were huge baskets in stemming the tide when Michigan had a ton of momentum, and then you get 5 points from Buck that I thought really were important. And he looks good driving to the rim.
What we talk about all offseason, though, is if he's able to give you 8, you're happy because he's been rated as high as I saw something today on Twitter, sixth highest rated defender in the country. So if he can give you 8, anything above 8 at this point, I think it's just gravy. Like that's all unexpected offense from a guy who you're not expecting it from. If he can clean up any of those threes to where he's either A, not taking them because they're daring him to shoot those, or B, figure out how to make one of those 2, then you're cooking with gas.
Yeah.
Moving along, Day Thomas, 12 points in this one, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 2 of 4 from free throw line, 1 offensive rebound, 5 defensive rebounds, giving him 6, good enough to tie for the lead. 3 assists, 4 fouls, a block, big block late in the game
on a 3.
And 24 minutes played plus 5.
He hit a couple big shots late. I know people are going to look at the 2 missed free throws, which better than, but I mean, he made a couple plays late again that really helped keep Michigan at bay. And the thing was, Aaron, if Michigan got the lead, Michigan was going to win the game. And Day did a great job on a couple buckets, keeping them from ever really fully capturing the momentum. And I like Day off the ball. I like off-ball Day.
I mean, his 12 was, I feel like, a very, very quiet 12. You never really felt like he had offensively taken over in the game. I know I really enjoyed his mid-range that he hit. It was in the second half, I believe.
Tillery threw a good pass. No, Abayev hit Tillery. Tillery makes a cut, hits Day in the corner. Day pump shot fakes, gets to 15 feet and hits one baseline.
Yep.
Loved it.
Maybe that was first half.
It was second half, I think. I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway, I don't know. He's still got that in his game. Like to see it coming out because just reminiscent of last year, what we saw. And I don't know that we're going to see that from anybody else on this team with Jizzle no longer being here. So just kind of fun to see a little flashback. But like I said, that 12 was extremely quiet. Even the 6 rebounds, I think, were also quiet. 3 assists. I don't really recall him moving the ball. Just it just seemed when he was out there, things happened, but you don't really recall anything in particular. So I'm totally okay with him having a quiet game like that.
Yeah, agreed. I thought he played really well, under control, defended well. He had a good.
All right, moving right along here. Baba Miller, your only Bearcat who fouls out. 11 points in the game, 4 of 7 from the field. Pretty efficient night. 0 for 2 from 3, 3 of 5 from the free throw line. 3 offensive, 3 defensive, giving him 6, tying him with Day. 4 assists, which was tied for the lead there, along with Sincere and Keyshawn Tillery. But again, 5 fouls, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, 19 minutes played, -1. I thought Baba was excellent tonight.
If it wasn't for the foul trouble, he was on his way to a massive game. And notice, first half, they defended Lindenborg really well when Baba was on the floor. Second half, he wasn't on the floor much because of the foul trouble, and Lindenborg went off. He did a good job keeping him in check. They missed him big time when he went out.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Early, first 10 minutes of the game, he was the best player on the floor by a mile. A mile.
And I think
those 3 offensive rebounds were all early.
Obviously, you're going to see more than 19 minutes out of him on a regular basis.
Yes.
But, just what he provides offensively, what he provided moving the ball, what he provided on the glass. I just think that all of it was extremely refreshing from that 4 spot. He can shoot from anywhere. He goes, and there was no quit in him on anything defensively, whether it be diving for loose balls or any of that stuff.
He's really good, man. He's really, really good. That's why I've said for the last 2 months that this team, to reach their ceiling, the best version of this team is with Baba Miller being maybe their best player, or their most important player, at least.
Well, time will tell on that, but that gives you all of your 6 top scorers there in double digits. So let's keep it moving here. Tyler McKinley, 7 points, 3 of 3 from the field, 1 of 1 from the 3-point line, 1 offensive, 2 defensive rebounds, giving him 3 fouls, 1 turnover, only 16 minutes played, and he was -5.
I thought he was excellent. Man, that rebound on the 2 missed free throws from Jordy, where, again, you're wavering, you're fluttering a little bit. You miss 2 free throws. Tyler goes up, gets that rebound, splits the 2 guys in front of him, and gets the bucket. Dude, you guys know how much I love Tyler McKinley, and I've known him since he was probably 14. To see him finally on the floor and to see him perform as well as he did, I was super happy for that kid.
Well, anybody who crashes offensive rebounds is obviously out there hustling. You don't just happenstance your way into an offensive rebound, especially on a free throw. So he just, again, he knows the culture of this team. He's grown up. He's watched this team. He knows what it means to be a Bearcat. He knows what the fans want to see out of a Bearcat, and he knows what he's expected himself his whole life, watching the Bearcats, wanting to see out of the Bearcats. So he's out there doing all of those things that he's always wanted to see. I thought that he looked far more physical than I expected him to look this early on. I thought that he battled when necessary. I thought that he was efficient with his shot selection. I was nervous a couple different times that he was going to take some shots that didn't quite look what we want him to be shooting, and he ended up passing them instead, and that was great. Again, very, very efficient, going 3 of 3, 3 rebounds. Great night for him in his debut.
Love it. Let's rapid fire the rest.
All right,
I'm almost back to the hotel.
Keyshawn Tillery, 6 points, 2 of 3, 0 for 1 from 3, 2 for 3 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 2 fouls, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 17 minutes played, +6.
Really good. How about he just ripped the ball from Roddy Gale Jr. at half court, Gail was kind of taunting him with it. And Keyshawn said, nah, dog, that's mine. We're going down the other way for 2. He's tough, dude. He's tough as nails.
Well, +6 was only behind Shauna Bayev. So your 2 true
How about that?
freshmen lead your plus-minus for the night.
Love it.
We'll keep it moving. Only 2 left here. Jordy Rodriguez, 1 of 3 from the field, all of them threes, 0 for 2 from the free throw line. No rebounds, no assists, 4 fouls, 2 turnovers, 13 minutes played, +2.
Get him out there. Get him used to the way the game is played over here. He hit a wide open 3 off a kick out.
Yep.
I thought he looked good. He's got a ways to go, but I think he's going to be able to help as he gets acclimated to the game in America.
Yeah, I think he'll be a contributor probably late in the non-con, more so. And I think that even conference play is going to take a little while for him to quite get up to speed. But there were certainly some things that you can be excited about. And last but not least, Halvin Zella, 1 of 2 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 offensive, 1 defensive rebound, giving him 3 fouls, 1 turnover, 14 minutes played, -3. Look, I thought Halvin Zella probably gets most improved player in 1 season under Wes Miller. I don't know that I've seen anybody under Wes Miller improve as much as he looked like a baby deer out there last year. He didn't look like that tonight.
No, he held his own. And if he can give you 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes off the bench, they have done a lot worse with guys they've ran off bench for that amount of time, Aaron, over the past 4 years.
Real quick, I'll get this is a decent question as we're kind of getting towards the end of this as you get closer to your hotel. Thrifty, he wants to know, can we cut to the chase without making an official prediction on a macro 50,000-foot view? What you know tonight, is this an NCAA tourney team?
Sure. They have enough talent. Like, look, it is not a matter of talent. This team has enough talent to be good. You're in a brutal league. It's going to take a lot. Like, you're going to have to be good for 5 months. But I think they have enough talent, enough variety, enough versatility. Yes, it better be a tournament team because there's no excuses if it's not. Like the ability to make there are teams that make the tournament as an at-large with a lot less talent than this one.
There's some things to be encouraged about if you're a fan of this team. I certainly think that they're going to make some noise. I feel like there's been, as you go into conference play, there's been plenty of places on this team that you feel that there's gaps or holes or places where guys need to grow. And right now, as we saw tonight, I mean, granted, again, Michigan's missing some top key pieces.
Yeah, there's still plenty of that. There's still plenty of that. There's room to grow, but
they're all on the same court, and they look like they belonged. And that's, I think at the end of the day, in an exhibition, that's all you really want is to look like you belong against a top-tier team, and that's exactly what you got.
For sure.
I guess that wasn't Thrifty because he asked if he has an imposter. Apparently he did. That was just 50 hippopotamus. So my bad.
He's got an imposter.
Well, either that or he's trolling us real hard on 2 separate accounts. Whatever. Bearcat 101 wants to know, did Wes sing Chad happy birthday? By the way, happy birthday.
No, he did not, but I did not ask him to. We were getting with. They were trying to get on the bus. They drove. I think they're riding home tonight on the bus 5 hours. So they were ready to get out of there. So I wasn't playing any games tonight. I was just trying to get a couple questions in and let them get back to Cincinnati.
I don't blame him. If you can sleep in your own bed, I get it. Real quick, let's run through the specialty stats since you don't have them in front of you. 32 bench points in this one, 40 points in the paint, 25 points off turnover.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I lost audio. Just finish it out. Close it out.
You got me back on audio now. I don't know what happened. Something just went wonky. Hopefully my sound's back. I don't know. All right. Looks like my sound's back. In any case, we'll get out of here. It was a fun game. It was a good game. Glad to see Cincinnati get the win, 100-98. Chad's on his way back to the hotel. My computer's doing something weird as I'm not at home. But happy to get the win. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in. Thanks to Galactic Fried Chicken. Thanks to the Cincinnati Bearcats getting an exhibition W. But we'll be back tomorrow night following your Bearcats football game back on the Aftermath as they take on Oklahoma State shortly after the game. And I don't know if we'll wait until after the pressers or not, but we will see you back here tomorrow night live on the Aftermath. For Chad Brendel, I'm Aaron Smith. We'll see you tomorrow night.